Hello and welcome to another one of our videos. This is our 2018 BMW M140i Shadow Edition. This is the 5-door with the ZF 8-speed gearbox. The car's finished in mineral grey metallic, and the car's just come into us with only 5,276 miles on the clock, so very low mileage for a one-owner car. The car was registered in March 2018. It's got a really nice spec on it, so I'm going to take you around the car first and then we'll go through some of the spec as we go around the car. Now, the whole car's been detailed and machine polished. Two guys spend a whole day on the car. Dan does the exterior of the car, machine polishing all the bodywork, taking out all those little scratches that your sponges put onto the paintwork when you're washing your car. And then Peter's goes around, does all the interiors, does the detailing on the outside and the finishing little touches. So we've got the LED lights at the front. We've got the black gloss front grille on the Shadow line. And if we just bring you in and show you the bottom of the headlamps, the band at the bottom there is in black. It's usually in silver, but the Shadow Edition, everything's sort of like smoked down. Just come round and show you up on this side as well. If I take you around the bonnet, there are no scuff marks or chips, as you can see. It's hardly worth mentioning, but right in the centre of the frame there, you can just see a tiny, tiny little stone chip, very tiny. Little tiny one just where the reflection of that light is, very, very slight. Other than that, there are no other chip. I think there's just a tinsy one down here. Probably can't even pick it up, to be honest with you. Also, the front bumper, I mean, it hasn't done the mileage, this car, so you'd expect it to be really nice and clean. It's very honest all around the front of the car as well. This is an area where they get chipped down at the bottom, but as you can see, really nice and clean down there. Now, we've got the darker grey Orbit wheels on the, sorry, I don't think they're called Orbit, there's another name for this wheel, but the darker grey with the M Sport brakes. Car's running on Michelin Super Sports, Pilot Super Sports. The traditional silver wing mirrors. If you look down the side of the car, there's no ripples, no dents. I'll just bring you up onto the roof. There's no chipping at the front of the roof. There's no scratches, no bird dropping stains, no damage from tree sap. All of these items, if you leave them on the paintwork with the sun that we've had lately, it'll bake into the paint and it can damage the paint. Let's just come back out, excuse me shaking. So that's the side profile of the car. Just come in and show you just around the filler cap here. No damage there either. Just come around this side as well. And if we open that, all nice and clean in there as well. Show you this rear wheel as well. Another thing just to point out, on these Michelin Super Sports, they've got a very soft compound, and quite often you'll see sort of like little bits of cracking around the edge. I spoke to one of the tyre companies about it, and they said it's just a very common thing on this soft tyre. It's nothing to worry about. It's just where the oils come out of the tyres, and you just get this very mild little, like tiny little hairline cracks in them. Got rear parking sensors, twin exhaust. There's a valve on this side, on the passenger side, which shuts off this exhaust on this side. And if you go over 3,000 revs, it'll open up automatically, or if you go into sport, it will open up. Now, this car's got the rear parking sensors, but also we've got rear camera just up under there as well. So, really nice feature. We've got the sun protection glass at the back. Now also on the Shadow Edition, the rear lights are smoked, so they're not as bright red, these lenses. You can see they're darker lens. That's really quite nice. Just come out and get this in focus. If we show you down the side of the car on this side as well. Let's try and get a better focus, there we go. All in lovely condition, no stone chips, and just checking the top of the bumper there. No scratches on there either. So near side rear wheel, no damage on there. Again, the M Sport brakes. See that lovely shine on the car. And little LED lights up under the door handles there. Let's come out and show you this side before we do the front wheel. Okay. And then the near side front wheel, again, all in really nice condition. Wing mirror on this side. Just bring you up onto the windscreen as well. You can tell the mileage is low because there's no pitting on the windscreen. Virtually nothing on there at all. Nice and clear. So let's take a look inside. So the Shadow Edition gets the HARMAN KARDON sound system. You see the speaker there, another one lower there. Additionally, there's another speaker up in front of the professional navigation that this car also has. We've got other speakers just down under the seats. You can see all the carpets and the mats. Everything's lovely and clean. No damage on the seal. If we look at the door card, got a lot of light coming through the doorway, so let's try and get a better focus. Even if we come down to the bottom of the door, we've got the little puddle lights under there as well. And then on the seat, got the little rocker button here, which blows up the bolsters on this side and the other side there to give you a better sort of grip in the seat. We've got the black gloss trim with the pearl chrome finisher, all in really nice condition. The ZF 8-speed gearbox, the iDrive wheel that you can write with your finger on the top. I'll come back round to that in a second. So the rear door card, just having a good look round, no damage on that one either. And all beautifully clean under here as well. Look at all the seal, all the way around. Hasn't had any seat belts jammed in it or anything. All the rubbers are nice and clean. The backs of the front seats, no scuff marks. All the nettings are in really nice condition, no damage there. The leather seats. This is the OYSTER leather, Dakota leather. Got the fold down headrests. I'll take you around the other side in just a second. And the center console with the air vents there, no damage on there. No compression marks on the seats from baby seats or anything like that. Come round to the boot. Just show you along the back here. Just try and steady my hand. Right, so there's no marks on here, on this black strip. All clean in the boot. I'm just going to show you around underneath as well. So you've got the pump in there and the foam battery, all in lovely condition. Obviously the seats do drop down. You'll notice we've got the HARMAN KARDON speakers on either side as well. Parcel shelf, all in nice condition. And the inside of the tailgate. No scratches on there. So we'll just close this down. Dan's just started the car for us. You can hear it just ticking over nicely there. It's going to give it a little bit of throttle. This is in the sport setting. Obviously we're not going to rev it too hard and show it, but really nice sound from that 6-cylinder engine. We'll leave that running for a moment. So the door card on the driver's side rear, all in lovely condition, as are the seals, the rubbers. You just hear the engine coming down off of the higher idle. No damage there. Really nice condition, as you can imagine. And again, if you look at the back of the seats, really nice. I haven't spotted anything to point out as yet. Don't think I'm going to. In fact, if I just show you around the door handles as well. Just going to see if those lights, oh no, the car's running, it won't light up. So start looking down here. No damage on the badges, on the plates. Really nice condition all round. Take a look at the driver door card. Got the speakers again. No scuff marks. Got the lights underneath, which have now come on, so you've just been into the car. Got the folding mirrors, another extra on this car. They'll auto dip on the left hand side of the car, depending which side you have the mirror switch. One side prevents that from dipping and the other side will allow it to dip when you put it in reverse. You can also fold the mirrors in by pressing and holding the key. Let's try and get this back in focus. There we go. So driver's seat. And this is the area, the bolster, that people like to check out. You can see it's all in lovely condition. As is the steering wheel. You can just see how smooth, when I say smooth, how clean the leather is. It's just really nice condition. We've got the extended storage under there. Okay, so I'm just going to jump into the car. So here we have the mileage, 5,276 miles. And I'm just going to move the seat back a fraction so I can pan back out a bit. Now on the BC button just here, when we go through the menu on the later ones, it will actually give you oil temperature as well, which the earlier models didn't have. So that'll give you your oil temperature there. On this side of the steering wheel, we've got a mode button, voice button, telephone button. Now if we use the mode, this is the black panel display down here. You can flick through your DAB channels with the rocker wheel, like so. And I'll go through FM, online entertainment, there's some subscription left on that. Music collection is the hard drive, up to 80 gig worth of space on there. FM and so forth. Telephone's not connected, but if you click on your telephone, you'll see the last dialed numbers, etc. We've obviously got paddle shift on this car, auto wipers, etc. We've got the professional navigation, which is touchscreen on the Shadow Edition, so we can move all these about into whichever order we want. come back to that in a second. One of the key things on this car that I wanted to point out is if you look down here at the rocker button for your economy and your sport, this car is fitted with the adaptive M Sport suspension. All of my cars are spec checked by me, so I know exactly what specs on the car. So the adaptive M Sport suspension, basically they're a different shock absorber which will allow the car to do a softer ride in eco and sport and a firmer ride in the sport mode. I'm just trying to find a setting in here which I found the other day because it's not showing me that system, so bear with me. Driving mode, no, this is always the way when I get into one of these cars. I get caught out by something. Is it in here under pop-ups? There we go, it was turned off in there, so it's on now. So basically, when we press this button down here and go into the drive mode of Eco Pro, this will have the suspension and a softer ride, but also the ECU settings for the engine adjust to make the car more economical. And you'll notice it feels a bit flatter on the throttle, and also when you come off the throttle and you coast, it's like it goes into into neutral. The car will roll on a lot more to give you better fuel economy, etc. And you can flip into here and see exactly what the car's doing, MPGs and stuff like that. You can get 40 to the gallon out of these, and you can configure it to show you different information. So Eco Pro and Comfort, suspension soft. Comfort will be a little bit more on the throttle. Now as soon as you go into sport mode, you can have the sport displays. You can change this to brake horsepower and pounds per foot as well. We've actually got it on dual screen, so let's take that off. Now if we come back out of there, you can configure the sport. Now all of these cars show you this information on here, but like I say, you need to have the adaptive M Sport suspension to actually adjust the shock absorbers. They have a valve on them, there's electronics going to the shock absorbers, so you can adjust the ride of the shock absorber. The standard car just has a normal shock absorber, so there's no way it could change anything, so worth pointing out. Okay, and then Sport Plus will turn off part of the traction control, which you'll notice comes up on the dash there on the left in orange. If you were to want to drive without any driver aids, by pressing and holding the traction button, that will turn off the second stage of the traction control, so the dynamic stability control. Now at this point you are driving without driver aids, so be extremely careful. They're very powerful cars, so I wouldn't do that on a wet day, and I'd make sure your tyres are warm on a good day basically, because you'd come unstuck and I don't want you to lose it on a bend or something. Right, let's go back here. So my vehicle, if we come into here, drop down to vehicle status, this is where it will show you tyre pressures and temperature of the tyres, so no excuses for not knowing if your tyres are warmed up. Service history, so PDI or pre-delivery inspection was done at 4 miles. Then the first oil change was done 2020, so that was done early actually. And then it's had, I believe this might be the brake fluid change, and it's had a vehicle inspection. So everything's bang up to date on here. If we come down, engine oil, March 2022, vehicle inspection 2022, vehicle check the same. Brake fluid is the first one's done on the 3rd year, and after that they're every 2 years. Rear brake pads 25,000 miles and front 27,000 miles. I would always suggest that once they get down to about 5,000, give them a visual check to make sure they're all okay. And I can't remember if I said whether the car had heated seats. This one doesn't have heated seats, but it has so many other bits and pieces. It has, I say, the adaptive suspension, folding mirrors, the Pro Nav. I think sometimes people opt, without some of these options, to keep the car under the £40,000 VED tax. We've got sliding armrest, USB. Now we've got the 12-volt socket here. There is another 12-volt socket up underneath the glove box, which some people aren't aware of. So if you wanted to charge something like a laptop, you've got that facility as well. Just looking around inside, everything is really nice and clean, as it should be. Let's have a look under the bonnet in just a second. I think we'll just take you into the map. Just like to point out on here, this is the sub menus, map views, for example, in direction of travel. Now the buttons along the top here, if you slide your finger just over them, you'll notice at the top of the screen, you can save not just telephone numbers and radio stations, but you can save some of the windows on here, so you can make them a shortcut. So if you want a perspective on number 8, rather than having to go into that menu, just press number 7 and it will change the view. Like I say, you can put telephone numbers in there as well. And we've got the media, the DAB, online entertainment, music collection, etc. A couple of phones in there which we can delete. And so forth. Right, down and back on the steering wheel now. Let's move my foot out the way. Got the speed limiter and the cruise control. For some reason, not all of the cars have cruise control as well. Some just have the speed limiter, so that's both on there. And then we've got voice control on this side. Right, that's 2 pulls of the bonnet. So this is a 6-cylinder twin-power turbo. Get it into focus. The power is quoted at being 335 brake horsepower, but as many of you may know, when put on a rolling road, the BMWs tend to make more power, around about 351, sometimes a little bit more. I guess it might depend on the rolling road it's on. Now the whole engine bay is cleaned by hand. We use a lot of WD-40, a nice safe product. Everything, all this is hoovered out. If there's any leaves in there or anything. As I've said in a few of the other videos, you don't really want to be jet washing into these little areas down here, because you've got things like your ABS unit and stuff in there. And not only that, you don't want to cause a sludge that blocks the holes and then stops the drainage. Just try and get the brightness up. And then if we look up under here as well, all in really lovely condition. Really nice engine bay. We do offer a Celtic remap as well. That will take the car to 431 brake horsepower. Just before we end the video, now it's warmed up a bit more. Just give it a little bit more. Really nice burble from that engine. And there are various different exhaust systems for these cars. Remus, Miltech, M Performance. And some people also, you can do I think it's one of the silencers you can take out and give it even more sound. Let's just come down here and have a look from this angle. But yeah, really nice colour combination, the mineral grey with the oyster interior. I think I've covered everything. The car's all ready to go. If you've been following these cars, you'll notice that they have been going up in value considerably in the last month, 6 weeks. And having been in the new M140i, I can see why. I really don't like the new one. Don't like the engine, don't like the feel of it. Doesn't feel solid like a BMW. It has a different feel to it completely. And there's a lot more drama in one of these being rear-wheel drive. That's what makes them so fun. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please give us a call if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to help you. Okay, take care. Bye.